Ooh. Hello. Welcome to the channel. This is a very weird stream because I'm testing things out. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how everything develops. But more importantly, I want to see if everything goes according to plan, of course. We'll see. Obviously, I'm kind of adjusting things, going as the crow flies in a way. We'll see how everything develops and where everything takes us. But I want to do more live streams, obviously. I also want to chill, relax, and have some sessions here, because making videos is one thing, going live and streaming is a whole different other thing. Hope everyone's doing great, hope everyone's feeling fantastic. And today basically we gonna talk about transfers, all about transfers, players going in, coming out, and all that sort of stuff. We're gonna try and fit in about 35-40 minutes. Would like to chat with you, see what you think, see what your thoughts on certain players and everything. And to be honest, without further ado, I don't want to drag this too long. Let's dig straight in. And just before we do that, of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit me down in the chat. Let's talk about things, let's discuss things and see how things go. And we're gonna kick things off with transfers. As I said, we're gonna kick things off with basically players leaving Arsenal. According to reports, Arsenal confirmed that they are still in contract negotiations to extend the current deals of Dewberry, Karl Hein, a goalkeeper, interestingly enough, and Rowe Walters, since their deals run out at the end of June. But Arsenal have confirmed that contracts, they're gonna let go like 20 players. The bunch of players they're letting go. I'm not gonna lie, half of these players, even though I watch some youth games, genuinely I don't know. As weird as it sounds. For example, I know Omari Benjamin, I know Kathleen Syrian, unlucky guy with injuries and all that stuff. Of course, Mohamed El Neni. Of course, there will be Cedric and stuff. I'm kind of surprised that we are letting Arthur Okonkwo go. I really thought we could have get some decent money for him. I'm not gonna lie, because he went out on loan to Sturm Graz, another player that went out on Sturm. No, he went on to Rapid Vienna, I think it was, and they won the league. Or Sturm Graz. I'm now bugging because I might be mixing up with Mika Biereth, but he went out on loan to Wrexham as well, and he helped them to get into League One. Was in quite a great form from them, so definitely it's a weird one. I definitely believe that we could have kept Arthur Okonkwo or maybe sell him for about 3-4 million, potentially even to some even to Wrexham if they wanted a goalkeeper. So that is a weird one for me. Definitely a weird one. Rest of the guys that are leaving, not gonna lie, John Jules, I generally thought he was already gone, but turns out he's still here. It's a weird one, but overall, Arsenal are letting go quite a bit of youngsters. They're trying to sign Dewberry, Karl Hein, and Rowe Walters. We'll see how this goes. But overall, let's get past this and dig straight into transfers. We're gonna talk about strikers, midfielders, and defenders, and we are kicking things off with Victor Osimhen. Of course, the Ocean Man himself, who recently in reports has been linked with Arsenal, which is a very weird one, because there was a time when we were looking at things and Osimhen was nowhere near to being an Arsenal player, because the money seemed too extravagant for this. Nobody thought it would happen, but recently the rumors, mostly from Italy, have surfaced that he is waiting an offer either from Arsenal, either from Saudi. He doesn't want to go to Chelsea apparently, and he's waiting what's going to happen with Arsenal and what's going to happen with Saudi. Whether one of the teams going to come in, who's going to propose the better offer. Basically, the thing that Saudi are in for him, potentially, is a bad thing for Arsenal, because let's be real, they're going to outpay anything Arsenal can offer, especially contract-wise. We'll see how that goes, but there are also reports that Napoli wants some players maybe in a swap deal. They want some of our players. We'll see how that develops. But yeah, Osimhen this season had a quite, I would say, actually silent season, if that makes sense. Only 15 goals and 3 assists from 25 games seems a bit low. His value obviously has decreased from last summer by 10 million, which is nothing much, to be honest, let's be real. But if we look at his full stats, to be honest, from let's see, this season, 32 games, 17 goals, 4 assists. He was a bit injured this season, I'm not gonna lie. As you can see, he was called up to national team, so in AFCON basically, so he missed already a bunch of games. He had a hamstring injury, which is not a great. He missed 5 games there. He had a muscle fatigue injury again. He missed another game. He was called up to national team, so he missed the cup semifinals and all that stuff. It's very, since he's one of the main guys for Nigeria, he's gonna get called up to AFCON, which already is a bit of a problem in itself if you sign him for Arsenal. But if you want to sign the best players, you kind of have to deal with that, because best of the best always go to their national teams, to Copa America, to Asia Cup, to even Euros, to Euro qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, and all that stuff. But yeah, here is the thing. He went to international friendlies, he missed a bunch of those. In Champions League, he missed 2 with hamstring injury as well. But this season, in 32 games, 17 goals, 4 assists, which is not bad in a way. But for 110 mil, you would expect more, especially if you compare to last season, when in 39 games, he scored 31 goals and got 5 assists, so basically point per game ratio pretty much. The thing that is bothering me with Victor Osimhen, obviously, is the injury situation. That's the first, and that is the number one situation, because let's be real, Arsenal are a rich club. If they wanted to sign a player, they could sign this player. It's nothing, it's not a mystery. But look, since he's joined Napoli overall, he's been injured for quite some time. If you look total, genuinely in total, he joined Napoli and he wasn't injured for, wow, he wasn't injured for Lille at all. But overall, over the last, he joined 2020, just look, over the last 3.5 seasons, 4 seasons basically, he's been injured for 24, 41, 52, 62 games. 62 games. If we take on average, Napoli play 40 games a season. Let's just say 40 games a season they play. That's 4 seasons, 160 games, and he has missed 60 games. That's 1/3 of the season already gone, which is not a great if you want a proper gunsman and a proper striker up in front of you. Definitely, it is not a great look. I'm not gonna lie. It is not a good look for us. It's not a good look for them at all. So definitely that will be a massive thing to look at. And it will be he will come with a massive price tag and everything, so that definitely will be something that they will take in consideration. But it's very interesting that Arsenal have been linked with him. Although it's coming from Italy's not most reliable sources, although you have to take that with some grain of salt, because without smoke there is no fire, because Arsenal allegedly were interested quite a bit in him before. Now they're interested again, and you could say that even Fabrizio Romano said that Benjamin Sesko, there's nothing concrete with him yet at the same time, they are also exploring the Osimhen option, and the Fabrizio says that there definitely must be some truth to that. But speaking of the guy, Benjamin Sesko, the most talked about player for moving to Arsenal at this stage of transfer window before it actually has opened per se, to be honest. He moved from Salzburg. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen him play about 3-4 games overall. 2 of them were quite shambolic, I'm not gonna lie. Other 2 were quite amazing. That's the other side of it. And the other thing about this is that this season, people say 31 games, 14 goals, what has he done? But if you actually take a second to look deeper into this stat, right? He sit on the bench until basically January, which basically means he was sitting on the bench for this time while Werner was there. As we all know, Werner in winter joined Spurs on loan. And as soon as he went out on loan, he started to play games as a starter. And as instantly he scores and assists pretty much every single game. Which just proves that if there is a chance of him to get consistent game time, consistent trust from the manager, a consistent system where he is meant to thrive, he actually can score. He's 6'5". He has better agility and balance that you would expect from a 6'5" guy. Straight up, I'm gonna tell you that much. He can finish with both feet and with his head. Pause. And that is obviously you want. The issue with him is he's still a raw product. He's 20 years young, and well, 21 actually. He just turned 21 a few days ago, and that with it itself comes with a massive, massive thing. He sometimes tends to make very questionable decisions, and that is not something Arteta will like at all, in my opinion. Obviously, you can coach that to make him make more proper decisions, in proper situations. All remains to be seen, but he still has that immaturity about him. But again, 20 years old, you kind of expect that. At the same time, you cannot forget the fact that there is a big chance that Spurs gonna extend the loan for another season. They're kind of exploring that option for Werner, which means Sesko will start more games. And at the moment, his release clauses are about 52, 53 million pounds, and there is a big chance that he might re-sign with RB Leipzig on a contract that removes these release clauses, which means that at the end of the summer, maybe next season, for example, other team comes in and he gets sold for about 70, 80 million. There's a big chance of that happening. If he keeps up this performance he started off in the second part of the season in Bundesliga, if he keeps these performances up throughout the whole next season, his price will even more skyrocket. And that is the biggest thing you need to be wary and worried about, because definitely there is a player there. There's a massive player, to be honest, in there. But at the same time, if you need a massive and straight impact from a player at the moment, on this given day, at this given time when you're in a title race, it also raises the question, will he be the goal scorer who bags you 20 plus goals? Obviously, until you sign him, you never know. He's also going to play for Slovenia in Euros, so that definitely will be a somewhat decent benchmark to see how he stacks up best other nations best. At the same time, Euros, again, you cannot take such a small tournament as a measuring stick, because someone can go to Euros, AFCON, Asia Cup, whatever, you name it, and have one of the worst performances ever throughout the cup. Yet at the same time, he plays in the league, he plays in, let's just say, Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, or the National Cup, and he blows everyone away. It is similar like Lewandowski, for example. He was incredible at Dortmund, he was mind-blowing at Bayern Munich, he was somewhat decent again at Barcelona. But as soon as he plays for Poland, he stinks out the place like no tomorrow. Because he doesn't have the quality anymore around him, he doesn't have the same caliber of players, and that is the biggest issue with teams that have one big star and not many stars around them, or helpful players that are on somewhat good level. Yes, you can argue that Poland has some good players. At the same time, by the looks of things, it hasn't helped Poland to achieve great things. So Benjamin Sesko, yes, this will be a one to watch, although the reports are saying Arsenal want to get things done before July, so basically during Euros, it's very weird. But apparently they want to do it before the Euros as well, according to other reports. So this will be interesting how hard Arsenal will push for him, because options are there. And I'm not talking about Gyökeres, who I personally don't want to see at Arsenal as much as people would like to see him personally. He is not the striker for me, if I may be honest with you. And Šeško's injury history, if you talk about it, is not big. Genuinely is not big. That is it. He was injured for a few games, for 13 games throughout the 21-22 season, and that was about it. So definitely that is a big thing to keep in mind, the fact that he is not injury prone. At the same time, you need to keep in mind the fact that Partey wasn't injury prone, and he came to Arsenal and bang, got injured. It was like his theme song. Genuinely, 2 games down the drain, Partey is injured again, pretty much, something like that. You can generally make a song about it. But yeah, Arsenal at the moment are still favorites to sign Sesko. From all the strikers, if I had a chance, I would definitely go for Isak, 100%. Again, Isak's injuries are a 50-50, but Isak is definitely Premier League proven. He can play also on the left wing, which seems to be at times a very troublesome situation for us somehow, weirdly enough, not even to mention backup for right wing. But yeah, Sesko is one that has been talked about the most. And for me personally, if I had a chance to sign all these players, to pick my poison from the strikers, I would pick Isak. But if it was after Isak, I'm not gonna lie, Benjamin Sesko actually would be the player I would pick as a second option. it's weird when you think about it, when you kind of accumulate together everything you can about the player, because I did that in a way, not too deep because I'm not a stats geek, in a way that I don't have hours to sit down and spend and like analyze a player. But from what I gathered, the compared stats to other strikers we are linked with, and how he could fit in the team, how I envision, at least from what we've seen under Mikel Arteta, he definitely is a player that would fit in. Definitely would fit in. Because he gets compared to Haaland. I don't like these comparisons whatsoever, but there are some similarities, if that makes sense. In his stride, he's like a bullet train. Straight up, if he gets going, it's hard to stop him, similar like Erling Haaland, of course. His finishing needs a bit of work. His passing definitely needs some work on ball distribution, but he has but something that Haaland doesn't have, in my opinion, but Sesko has more, is skill on the ball. That is something that Sesko possesses. He can dribble, and he likes to do unexpected passes at times, which also kind of puts down his passing percentages and kind of could make Arteta angry, but Arteta can teach him to do things together with Odegaard, so I definitely wouldn't be against that. As much as I want a proven striker, he actually would be my second choice after Isak, as mad as it sounds. Joshua Zirkzee, I don't know. It's a no from me. He's injured at the moment as well. Expected return in June only. So that again will be a massive thing for them. How everything goes remains to be seen, obviously. But there's a bigger chance for me personally that he goes back to Bayern Munich, to be honest. Like, otherwise, I don't want to get too much into Zirkzee because I don't believe Arsenal will sign him. I don't think Arsenal will go for him. A player Arsenal, in my opinion, should be looking at is this guy, Girona striker Artyom Dovbyk. He was bought for 7 million, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 7.75 million euros from Dnipro. The team that had built when the actual Dnipro went bankrupt, by the way. In 36 games, 24 goals, 8 assists. Absolute tank of a player. For me, he actually would be that choice. I would put him third. He would be a dark horse. Because the thing is, if Girona can keep their manager and keep pretty much most of their players, I know they're losing Savio, for example, most likely Couto as well, Yankuto, as well, and some other players. But if they can keep their core players, I think Garcia also, didn't he go to like Valencia or something? Didn't they want him? But if they can keep their main players and buy actually properly players as well, he might be one of those that in next year goes for massive money. At the moment, he would be around 45 million euros. Mind you, that's about 40 million pounds. And he's super tall, which is actually like 118, like that's what, 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", something in those lines. He would be quite amazing in that regard. He can finish with both feet. Obviously, he's a lefty, but he's very strong. He has decent pass, but he has a knack for goals. That's something I've noticed. He has a knack for goals, to be in the right position at the right time. This one could slip under a radar. I definitely believe there will be a team that's gonna pick him up. He's gonna play in Euros as well, of course. So definitely we can keep an eye on him, and I think Mikel Arteta also could keep an eye on him. In my opinion, he should. It remains to be seen what's gonna happen, but let's be real. In 41 games, 25 goals, 20 assists. That's 35 points out of 41 games. Absolute blinder. Absolute blinder. Minutes per goal is 109, which may seem not that great. But if you look points per game in general, that's 32 out of 36. So pretty much every single game he gets at least a goal or an assist. He was sublime this season for Girona. Girona had a sublime season. So all remains to be seen. And now we move on to some players going out. Then we're going to go back to move one player. Well, Zubimendi. I'm not going to look at him. But Zubimendi has expressed that he doesn't want to join Arsenal. He's staying at Real Sociedad, or he's going to move to Barcelona or somewhere there. So Zubimendi is off the books. But Emil Smith Rowe, just like the player we're going to talk about in a second as well, has been linked with a move to Fulham. This came out of nowhere in a way. I'm very sorry. He's been linked with a move to Fulham. Marco Silva wants to bluster the attacking midfield, and I think definitely there is a chance of that happening. Arsenal could be asking about 30 million, 35 million, and 100% I wouldn't be against that. Now, obviously he's a Highland graduate, which means it will be 100% profit for Arsenal in a way. If we sell, it will be 100% profit. It will definitely balance the books for us in terms of FFP and sustainability rules, so that's definitely a thumbs up instantly. As much as great as he was, he always gets it going and then something happens. And in the last 2 seasons, he couldn't just get it properly done. He always got injured. Someone was in front of him. And yes, he got a man of the match performance against Luton Town. Arteta promised him in the second part of the season playing a crucial role in Arsenal's title race, but we never saw that. If you ask me, we never saw that properly. We never saw that title race, actually, him in that title race. He had good cameos for about 20-15 minutes, especially towards the end part of the season. But I definitely believe that was more with a thought in Arteta's mind about the fact that was his audition to being sold. Yes, there were rumors just instantly about season ended that Arteta doesn't like how Fabio Vieira trains. But according to the recent... well, I can't say news, but rumors. It looks like Arteta is willing to give Fabio Vieira one more chance at Arsenal for one more season and then sell him. But that means either Emil Smith Rowe or Fabio Vieira needs to go. And in this instance, by the looks of things, it looks like it will be Emil Smith Rowe who will go. Now, if we speak about Fulham, 30 million, definitely they can afford it. Second of all, will he fit in Fulham's system? 100%. He would fit in there perfectly, to be honest. In a way, as good as players they have never recovered after losing Mitrovic, and they need replacements all across the field because they're getting picked. Many teams are looking at certain players that are getting picked. To be honest, I wouldn't be upset if Arsenal just went in and said, let's see, you give me Smith Rowe, we give you Smith Rowe and 10 or 15 million, and you give us Palhinha. I wouldn't be against that. For that Thomas Partey replacement as that number 6, João Palhinha would be immense in my opinion. That would be kind of interesting to see if that happens. But Arsenal are looking apparently for asking about 25 to 30 million. I'm not against that. The thing is, we cannot sell in a way too many English players because the English quota, we need to keep an eye on that, of course, as well. We'll see how everything goes and how everything develops in that department. But yeah, it's very sad. But we are at a point at Arsenal Football Club that sentiment towards players cannot stick anymore. Because at the moment we are where we are, and mostly because of Mikel Arteta, in a way how ruthless he has been towards certain players, and it's now win or get out, perform or get out. We cannot afford keeping players because, I don't know, we like their haircut, because what they did 3 seasons ago, because they have credit in the bank. That all goes out the window when you go and try and win titles, because let's be real, there are many clubs, prime example obviously Real Madrid. Vinicius Jr. scored a hat-trick against Barcelona in Copa del Rey final to win it for Real Madrid. 1 week later they're playing, I think it was Mallorca at home or someone they were playing at home, and he was stinking out the place. And the fans weren't saying, oh, he scored hat-trick last week, it's all good. They were booing him, they were saying to sub him off and all that stuff. They keep players accountable. And I think, despite the fact that Emil Smith Rowe had a blinding season a few seasons ago and saved in a way Mikel Arteta's job together with Bukayo Saka, I think it's time to part ways. It's sad to see, I'm not gonna lie, especially with the fact that we sent Fabio Vieira. And Fabio Vieira, from what I remember at Arsenal, is almost nothing. He scored a long shot against Brentford. He helped us win a cup game where he crossed the ball. He completely changed the game. I think it was a cup game. And he got a red card against Wolves, I think it was, or someone, or Brentford as well, or something like that. He got a red card as well. And that's pretty much everything I remember about Fabio Vieira at Arsenal. Because besides everything, he's been marinated on the bench or he's been injured. Genuinely. And that's 35 million down the drain in a way. And selling the English player will reduce our English quota, so obviously Nwaneri is getting promoted, so that is a good thing. Skelly is getting a contract extension, so that kind of keeps up the English quota and everything. But yeah, it's a tough one. And speaking of Fulham and another Arsenal English player that might be leaving, according to latest reports, also Fulham are interested in signing Rowe and Nketiah. And that comes from Sun Sport, so it's Sun. You know how shit and awful and pathetic they are, so take that with some grain of salt, but I'm very sorry. But if there's any truth to these rumors, and if that's about to happen, happy days. 25 million, 30 million, take him, leave him. I will fly to London myself and drive him down to the Craven Cottage myself. Straight up. I will fly there and everything and drive him myself. It's time to say goodbye to this guy. It's finally time to say goodbye. You cannot keep him whatsoever. It's time to go. Nobody cares. Goodbye. Bye Felicia. Straight up. No other, no less. Genuinely, it's time to go. How long you will keep this Sherman Clump, Eddie Murphy wannabe in your team? Because he gets subbed on in Champions League against Bayern Munich to score the deciding goal. Just deep the sentiment, the fact of that statement, just deep it. Eddie Nketiah is Arsenal's super sub to score against Bayern Munich. How bad our bench is. Just genuinely, how bad our bench is if you deep it in that sense. It's just shambolic. And again, it all comes down to Mikel Arteta's recruitment. If he spent 700 million, he spent about 300 million properly, and that includes signing Declan Rice, which means he spent 200 million properly. Rest of the money is pretty much misses all over the place. He signed Kivior, he signed Pablo Mari, he signed Cedric, he signed all these players, Fabio Vieira, mind you, as well. Okay, I kind of have to give him credit for Edu and Arteta for signing Gabriel. For Partey, it's hard to give credit because it's release clauses. I can play someone's release clauses and sign a player. That's done and dusted. I can give them credit for Trossard, best finisher in the team we have, most clinical one, obviously. So that definitely is a massive, massive statement in a plus side, but also in a minus side. It goes both ways. It genuinely goes both ways. And another player I want to talk about today is Alexander Zinchenko. As we all know, who is it? Company, generally forgot, but Company just signed a contract with Bayern Munich, and he looks like he is one of the players he actually wants at Bayern Munich, and I'm super happy. I'm not gonna lie. We have outgrown him. As good as he has been in the first season, well, he wasn't good first season. He was decent first season, especially defensively. He lets us down every single game when he has to defend against top-end attackers who has pace, technical ability, and other certain aspects of the game that Zinchenko doesn't possess. Our best defensive left back was sent to Sociedad. We'll see how that goes, by the way, because early stages, about a few days, like 5 days ago, there were rumors that Arsenal kind of are exploring options to extend Tierney's contract. So I'm very hoping for that in a way, because Tierney is an old school defender, which we really miss. He likes to defend, he likes to overlap, he can cross a ball, and he has a decent shot on him. 4 traits none of our left backs have. None of our left backs have. Maybe Tomiyasu has a bit, but the rest of them don't. None of them overlap, none of them can cross the ball, none of them like to defend. Make it make sense. Yes, people say he's injury prone, but according to stats, if you actually read them deeply and you kind of grab the essence from them, Zinchenko has been more injured than Tierney. Genuinely. So how bad is that? But at the end of the day, yes, we need to get this B-Tech Bart Simpson out of the club, the little crybaby who cries when he gets nutmegged. It's time to go. It's genuinely time to go. As Andrea Bocelli once sang, it's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye and don't come back. Ever. Anyways, let's see what Arsenal news we can maybe find out in here. Likely to leave. Journalist confirms that Arsenal now could sell 40 million star who Mikel Arteta loves. What is this yellow page story all about? We're gonna go for about, 5 more minutes. Arsenal are likely to sell Emil Smith Rowe this summer. It's not a... He loves? Where does he love him? In which bloody universe does he love him? Where does he love him? Haven't seen one shrink of evidence that he loves him whatsoever. How mad is that? How mad is that? Samuel Smith Rowe's sense of value is tricky. Arsenal could hope for about 35 million. I would say if we can get 30 million, I'll be happy with that. AC Milan considers replacing City target with Arsenal 26-year-old Daily Cannon. Oh boy, that's not the best of sources, but we'll see. Ramsdale. Oh yeah, here it is. AC Milan are considering move for Aaron Ramsdale this summer, depending on a number of other potential transfers. Now, basically, this comes out as a talking point because Ederson, there are rumors he might leave City with Saudi interest, which means, according to that will start a domino effect that Man City are looking to sign Mike Maignan from AC Milan, which now leaves AC Milan without a goalkeeper, which now has led to this rumor piping up that they might go for Aaron Ramsdale. Getting 35-40 million for Aaron Ramsdale, if he goes, I would be cool. This one, as a result, Newcastle are considering 20. See, they are not willing to pay lots of money because Newcastle's Ramsdale alternative was previously reported Georgi Mamardashvili, who actually is a pretty good goalkeeper, but Valencia are also asking 30 million more. For Mamardashvili, 30 million is actually cheap. I'm not gonna lie. And they're going for Trafford. That's never gonna work at Newcastle. I'm sorry, but 20 million for Trafford is never gonna work. Raya pretty much has signed for Arsenal, so that is that. We need a backup. Arsenal could raise 130 million from player sales this summer. I made a video about that. Go check it out. Arsenal are reluctant to sell 30 million rated striker amid for. Arsenal are reluctant to sell Eddie Bloody Nketiah. What are you smoking back there? If Arsenal are reluctant to sell Eddie Nketiah, I might be reluctant to stay an Arsenal fan. What the hell is this, man? Should Arteta be reluctant to sell him? No! Bin him, send him back. I will drive him myself. I will pay extra 2p to sell him, man. What else is here? Arsenal release player announced including Elneny, Suarez. Yeah, we talked 3 goalkeepers Arsenal releasing. How mad is that? Oh, Sesko paves way. And we're gonna talk about this last, and then we're gonna end the stream. And then we are ending the stream. The possible arrival of Benjamin Sesko from Belarusian could force Eddie Nketiah out of the Emirates. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, bin Eddie Nketiah, send him even to Yeovil Town. I don't care where he plays, just get him out of the club. Fulham, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, wherever you want, sell him. I will fly to London and drive him to Craven Cottage, to Selhurst Park, even to Stamford Bridge to sell him, for bloody sake. Just sell him and get in someone else as a striker. Just do it. Freaking hell. Get this Eddie Murphy out of the club. For once, do the right thing, Arsenal. If it makes sense, do it for once. Not like Arsenal usually. If it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. Anyhow, those were a bit of my, I'm not gonna lie, a bit over emotional reactions. And that will be end for today's stream. Hope you really enjoyed it. I really hope you did. If you did, of course, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Tomorrow, I don't know if it's gonna be a stream or a video. We'll see. But take care. Enjoy football. Euros are just about the corner, a bit more than a week away. And yeah, let me know down in comments. Would you sell Nketiah? Would you sell Emil Smith Rowe? And would you sign Sesko to Arsenal? Would you take a gamble of Dovbyk maybe? Because obviously I pretty much know everyone wants Isak. So let me know. Sesko, Dovbyk, selling Smith Rowe, selling Eddie Nketiah. Let me know that down in comments below. Take care, like, comment, and